The video for January 24th, 2017 is entitled H.R.193, American Sovereignty Restoration Act of 2017. Is the United States Brexit coming anytime soon? Yes, Representative Mike D. Rogers from Alabama, who is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, has proposed just such a bill in Congress. Yes, I know Congress is still part of the phony and unlawful corporate government, but this indicates that there are those who want to get us out of the United Nations and restore national sovereignty. Hopefully, this is a sign of sweeping change, that will unseat the cabal and bring freedom back to this nation as presented in the original Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution. I hope this becomes a worldwide movement as people around the world work to unseat the criminal cabal and restore human rights for all of humanity. Of course, the bill is still must pass the House, the Senate, and the President before it can become law. And I do provide the link. Yes, I compared what's happening in the United States to what happened in Britain last year when they voted to exit the Commonwealth and become an independent nation. And that move, as I've said, I think in other videos, is something that's happening in other places on the planet, in France and other European countries. And I would like to see it happen all over the world. I'd like to see people get out from the bondage to this corporate cabal that has been wielding undue influence and committing heinous crimes for a very long time. I'm appreciative of the fact that there is an awakening going on, and with the Women's March for Freedom and the women's movement to not just restore women's rights, although I hope one of the rights that they're not trying to restore is termination of pregnancy at any time. I mean, I still believe that you need to honor the life of the child, and abortions should not be ever accomplished unless there's really a health challenge for the woman, unless it takes place in the first trimester. And that's enough time for a woman to decide that she's likely pregnant, with all the indications of her menstrual cycle being stopped, as happens when a woman is pregnant. Anyway, I'd like to see freedom established on Earth. That's the whole point that I've been trying to get across. And we cannot have freedom as long as we have people that don't want us to be free. And the cabal and whatever the beings are behind the cabal, the non-human entities, call them whatever you will, as long as these feed off of the negativity and the terror that they purposefully create, and it gives negativity and things that happen bad in people's lives tend to get the adrenaline flowing in these demons or demon-possessed beings. That is just, from my point of view, something that needs to be addressed in creation. And to me, it's up to God. And my friend Steve and others have said, "But you are God, or God, you are part of God. God is in you, so do something about it." Well, I don't have the power to do something about it. If I knew how, you'd better believe I would remove these people from the planet. They'd either repent or get out. There's no more room for allowing their free will to overrun the free will of others. That's not free will. That's tyranny. And tyranny is, to me, a crime against life, especially against human life. And it has to be brought to an end. That's the whole point of my messages from the beginning. It's been the whole reason that I wrote the book, Living Gods Are Hard to Find, that I published Paradox magazine, that I was on, had my own radio program called Be Not Deceived, that I've spoken in so many churches and religious groups and led organizations and helped work with organizations that wanted to reestablish constitutional law and the republic and stop the onslaught of crimes against humanity that's been going on and on and on throughout human history, really, but especially in the last few centuries, as I pointed out in, I think, the previous video, or certainly other videos. We've got to get a grip, folks, and it looks to me like many people are waking up and trying to rise up, and as we do, more and more of us, as we become involved, we'll make it easier and easier to send the message to the higher powers that are invisible to actually take action and provide the necessary ingredients to foment change that brings back freedom, not liberty. Liberty is something that is granted to you. Freedom is something that we're supposed to have. It's not granted to us, it's simply recognized. And we need to have the fact that we were born to be free recognized by everyone, especially those who hold the positions of servants. And bear in mind, leaders are servants. They are not rulers. We've got to get that through our head, that the idea of a ruler means someone who thinks they have the right to rule over someone else. No one has that right. The only thing that leaders have the right to do is to establish a fair system of justice where those who violate the free will of others are brought into some type of remuneration or some type of punishment to get them to repent. That's the purpose of it. And someone sent me something recently, or I saw something that said that in order for the changes to come, free will has to be eliminated. I've never heard such nonsense. Free will, if free will is eliminated, then you have exactly what the cabal has wanted. That's been their game plan all along, to eliminate free will for everyone but themselves. They have the right to do whatever they want. But the goyim, the ordinary people, the Gentiles, the slaves have no rights at all. That's the system that we've had to deal with. And we need to have our rights not only reestablished, but we need to have our free will held as a sacred thing that cannot be violated, that must not be violated. And when that happens, we will change the face of the world, and our experience will become one of great, not only possibility, but of great fulfillment, because we will be able to set goals and actually achieve them, and we won't have someone say, well, you can't invent that, you can't do that. You can do anything you want as long as it doesn't hurt someone else. And we've got to stop blocking people that actually want to put forth something that benefits people, even if it means taking out certain jobs and certain technologies that have become almost sacred to these controllers because they've made such money off of them, including war, but especially also the energy situation. We have free energy. We've had it, since Tesla at least. And it's time that we employ some of these technologies and get our lives back where we can be free. That's the whole point of what I've been doing all this time, is to establish the mindset in people that we see that freedom is the goal. And it can only come by telling the truth and living truthfully and honestly with one another. Anyway, I thank you for listening, and I appreciate your prayerful support to this aim that we are liberated. Bye-bye now.